The office gala was alive with energy. Chandeliers hung overhead, scattering sparkling light across the polished floors, while the gentle murmur of conversation mixed with the soft strains of live music. I had arrived with my wife, Laura, anticipating an evening of polite networking, laughter, and casual socializing. But the moment I spotted him, a knot formed in my stomach. Mr. Caldwell, the CEO of the company I had devoted years of my life to, was leaning toward Laura with a grin far too familiar, his presence igniting a slow burn of anger in me. His hand brushed hers lightly, and his voice, a low, teasing whisper, drew a laugh from her lips. "It's just a joke," Laura said quickly, noticing my glare, but I saw through it immediately. This was no harmless jest. As the band shifted into a slower song, Caldwell edged closer, his posture confident, almost predatory. He leaned in, speaking words meant only for Laura, his arm brushing hers with a casual audacity, while colleagues nearby either laughed along or looked the other way. Each laugh, every fleeting gesture of her nervous amusement, confirmed it. This was far from innocent. I gripped my drink tighter, my jaw set, but I did not act impulsively. Years had taught me that patience and timing carry far more weight than sudden confrontation. Tonight, I would let the truth speak for itself. Caldwell's arrogance only grew. He openly commented on Laura's charm, whispered as if sharing secrets only she could hear, and flaunted his dominance in front of the room. Yet I stayed composed, a quiet but unmistakable presence near them, observing each motion, weighing each interaction. Laura's fleeting glances at me betrayed her realization that she had underestimated my restraint, my ability to assert control without raising my voice. Each drawn-out second stretched, heavy with tension, sensed by everyone in the room, even if they didn't fully understand why. Finally, I stepped closer. My voice was calm but carried a weight that cut through the party's din. "I think you've crossed a line," I said, polite yet authoritative. Caldwell's confident grin faltered for just an instant, panic flickering in his eyes. "It's just a joke," he muttered, attempting to recover, but the uncertainty in his tone gave him away. I didn't need threats or raised voices. My steady, unwavering presence conveyed everything. "Not a joke," I replied evenly. "And it's time you realized who really holds authority here." The atmosphere shifted immediately. Colleagues who had been laughing and chatting fell silent, the subtle power dynamics now impossible to ignore. Caldwell's bravado melted under the quiet weight of my assertion. Laura, a mix of relief and admiration on her face, straightened ever so slightly, recognizing that the situation had been handled with precision and authority. Her earlier attempt to dismiss the flirtation as harmless had underestimated the seriousness of my presence and the silent force of timing. Caldwell tried to recover with forced laughter, awkward jokes, and strained small talk, but it was too late. Every movement, every gesture, broadcast his realization. He had miscalculated entirely. The whispers and curious glances of our colleagues only underscored his shift from dominant to visibly shaken. My authority had been conveyed without drama, yet the impact was unmistakable. He had been exposed and humbled. Laura leaned toward me, her voice quiet. I didn't realize it would be this intense. I smiled faintly, maintaining my calm. "It's not about realizing," I said softly. "It's about respecting boundaries. That's the only joke here, if he thought he'd get away with this." Relief washed over her face as she understood the situation had been handled with discretion and undeniable power. By the end of the night, Caldwell had retreated, his charm and dominance reduced to awkward gestures and forced smiles. The energy in the room had subtly shifted. Everyone understood the true dynamics at play. No one had been publicly humiliated, yet the message was unmistakable. Arrogance and assumed superiority crumbled under calm authority and precise timing. As Laura and I left the gala hand in hand, a quiet sense of triumph settled over me. The evening had tested patience, observation, and timing, and the lesson had been delivered flawlessly. Caldwell's lesson in humility was unforgettable, and the respect of our peers quietly reaffirmed. That night reminded me of the truth I already knew. Control and authority are often silent, subtle, and patient. Arrogance can be shattered without a single shout. Sometimes the most devastating response is simply the quiet assertion of presence and truth. Tonight, Everyone had seen exactly who really held the power. If you want, I can also make a slightly punchier, cinematic YouTube-friendly version of this script that keeps all the detail but heightens tension for maximum viewer engagement. Do you want me to do that next?